Welcome everyone to Double Barrel Non-Duality. If you want to participate live in this, what we do is we do one per month, and I always have a guest um, facilitator who helps answer questions. Sometimes we tag team them, sometimes one of us will answer, sometimes the other. If you're interested in doing this on my channel, there's a subscription level on my channel called Sustaining Member. If you're a sustaining member above, then you can participate in these live once a month. And also, so anyone knows here, this will be put on my channel publicly. So anything we do here and record will go onto the channel. The other thing you get if you are at that subscription level is once a month I do a live with myself through YouTube. So I read your comments and answer them live. Um, and as I said, every month we have a different person here. And this month it is someone who I actually interviewed 10 days ago. And it was a wonderful interview. Check it out if you haven't seen it. The interview was called Winning the Lottery of a Lifetime. And our guest facilitator today is Maggie. Hello, Maggie.
I just had to unmute myself. Hi, everybody.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. It's my first time,
Thank you for
and
coming.
yeah, I think I'm a bit nervous because
Hmm.
what if I have nothing to say?
Yeah, I know. I feel the same way. I frequently think I really have nothing to say, but somehow
Right,
words
right.
come out of my
I
mouth.
found myself in this place a lot, so yeah,
I
it's
guess let's
kind of
find out if we have anything to
ironic.
say.
Exactly.
All right. So what we'll do is we'll go by hands. If you put your hand up by going to the bottom, yeah, and there's a little reaction button and there's a little hand button. Um, it puts your hand up in. I will call on you and then I'll ask you to unmute. That's the way you can unmute is you'll see that request. And there's one person with a hand up. It's I think it's Vicky. Go ahead and say hi.
Wait, hi everybody. Like I
Hello.
like you said to like raise your hand, so I raised it. I didn't realize I'm the only person, but thank you so much, I guess. But like hi Maggie, I watched your interview and I just want to say that that was a really good interview. I also subscribed to your channel because like I like the idea of like humanizing awakening. So I mean, there's that. But
Thank you.
so yeah, can I like get into it?
Go for it. Let's do it.
Okay, and also like I want to make sure like I can only ask one question, right?
Well, it kind of just depends. Sometimes people ask more than one, but it kind of depends how much time we spend with you and what the question is and so forth.
Okay, okay. So basically like I'm doing good, but also I'm not doing good at the same time because like when I do meditate, like I when I do meditate, like things happen, right? So for example, like I would look at that plant over there and it would start seeming sacred to me and like or like it would just start looking sacred for some reason and there's like some energetic thing happening and then like and I'm like okay like I'm like something happened but I just want to say, like, on the daily, I feel so much resistance towards meditation, towards reading books, towards even watching videos sometimes. And like, I watched like a recent videos of yours which talked about like resistance, but like, I don't know how to like get over it because like I'm trying to hold space for it, and I'm trying to I don't know like what to say about this. Like I'm just trying to like hold space for it and like not be resistant, I guess. But I guess you cannot be resistant towards being resistant. But like anyway, so I just cannot like get through that barrier. Like I feel like my practice is so hard now. I feel stuck. But I'm not actually stuck, right? Because like when I do meditate, things do happen. So like and I also want to mention I watched your interview with I think Maria Schoenfer. Maria, like, do you know who I'm talking about? Okay,
Yep.
yeah. So Maria Schoenfer, and like literally, like that woman gave me such like intuitive vibes. Like she's like so intuitive with her music and with her art and like with her like whole like demeanor is, I can just tell that she's like a very like, she knows what she should do to like get to the bottom of things type of person. And I feel like I'm just like so not intuitive. Like I'm trying to like journal now, and like I'm trying to like meditate, and like, but I think like I don't even know how to do self-inquiry because like all I do is like ask like who am I? So like I just feel like I don't know how to figure this out like intuitively the way like all my teachers can and figure it out intuitively. So I was wondering if you can give me some tips on that as well. But like is there anything else? Like I feel like um yeah, like I just feel like I think that's pretty much it. But I just feel unintuitive, and also I'm stuck. So there's that. Yeah.
All right. Maggie, do you want to start or would you like me to start?
Sure. Um, I mean, there are a few
Vicky, do you
things
want to say
that.
hi really quick so that she sees your face?
Hello.
Hi, Vicky. And thank you for your kind words and thank you for subscribing to my channel. Um, so, I mean, there are a few things that I'm hearing as I'm listening to you. And one of the things that you said that it's like you feel that you're stuck, right? And I think the only time we can feel like we're stuck is when we think that there's something else that should be going on,
Mhm.
you know? So if you think that you should meditate or you think, for example, that you should be reading books, then you don't really want to.
Right.
Do you see what I mean? So like if
Right.
you come to reading or meditating from the place of I should be doing this, but the honest reality of the moment is that you don't really want to, but you think you should, then there's a resistance right there. Okay? So it's really about knowing what is it that you actually want to be doing in this particular moment by moment reality for you, as opposed to what you think you should be doing, because in the word should it's already where the resistance kind of lives. That's at least the way I see it. And the other way the resistance shows up is trying to get over the resistance, because the
Mhm.
resistance alone isn't really an issue. It's the trying to get over it that is, you know, issue. I mean, like quote unquote, you know. So, so can I just say something else to this? I'm not sure how that works, but um,
Take as much
so
time as
if
you
I
want.
c- so if I can suggest something, is next time you actually think that you're feeling resistance or you're experiencing resistance, that you actually try to find it as a sensation in your body. So like however that resistance feels to you, and it doesn't matter it doesn't matter. There's no like how it should feel. It's just the way it feels to you, that sensation of resistance. If you can just find it in you and find it, where is it actually playing out in your body? And might not actually be in only just one place, it might be in several places, and just let it be there without having to do anything about it or trying to get over it or whatever. But even if you can't do that, and even if you're struggling doing that, let the narrative about, oh my God, I don't know how to do this, or like, this is not working, it should be working, or let that be there too. The whole shebang that comes with that, you know? And so that's that, and just see what happens, because that the fact that you're experiencing the resistance is not an issue at all. It's more in trying to get over it that is the issue. Does that make sense?
Right. That makes sense. And can I get some clarification on something you said?
Mm-hmm.
So you said like at a moment to moment basis, do what I want to do. And
Mm-hmm.
like this is kind of just going against like everything I learned. Like because like and what I learned is like from Frank Yang, like
Uh-huh.
does like he did like 2 hours of meditation every day, like sitting straight, like sitting straight, like having a good posture, and then he like reads for an hour, and then he
Mhm.
exercises, and I think that's everything he did. But like, so for me, oh sorry, can you so sorry. But anyways, like so like in my like so using him as a reference point, I'm like okay, so I have to have a routine of meditation and like reading and like the routine is gonna get me to be enlightened because like he's like an our hat now. So like what would you like say to that?
So, thank you for bringing this up, and I can completely appreciate how confusing this stuff can get, especially if you're listening to multiple teachers, which I encourage, but there's always this sort of um, byproduct of listening to many teachers is that it can get confusing because one teacher will say, do this, and the other one's like, don't do that, and the other one will say, do something else. So I totally appreciate the confusion, which is why, our journeys are really unique, you know?
Right.
And the important thing is the more important, it's great to explore and listen to other people, but you have to go back to yourself.
Mm,
And the best thing you can do is to meet the reality of your moment exactly as it is versus how another person tells you that moment should look like.
mm,
Do you see what I mean? Because
right.
I'm not even, listen, it might be that like tomorrow you'll be like, I totally want to exercise for an hour and then I'm going to read and then I'm going to meditate for, 5.5 hours. But it's like, it's an impulse that's natural, that's in the moment and you just go for it. But if you try to manage your reality, by comparing it to somebody else's reference point, then it's going to be tough because it continuously takes you away from what's true for you right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So would you allow doom scrolling?
Absolutely.
Okay, okay,
Absolutely.
okay.
And in fact, I would get curious about the doom scrolling, I would totally
Mm,
get curious about doom scrolling. So doom scroll away, but I would use it as a like curiosity research object. So like at which point do you start doom scrolling? Like what's going on with you when you start doom scrolling? Okay, because scrolling, there's no doom scrolling. I think there's only doom scrolling. I've just made up some weird word. um I really recommend that, like, just out of by the way, you don't have to do it at all, but like I highly recommend, just as like a curiosity task, what's going on before you grab your phone and start doing that? Because there
mm,
will be something's going to be going on, not necessarily, but most likely something will be going on that you will not want to be with.
mm,
Okay, that you will not want to feel, that you will not want to experience. So, the grabbing of the phone or any kind of thing that that we use to distract, it's almost happens on autopilot. So it also takes a moment sometimes to like, oh, hold on a sec, why am I actually, what's going on with me that I'm like, before I even grab and start doing. So I'm not telling it. So like I said, doom scroll away, but like try to play with it and see what goes on when this happens. Does it make sense?
right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Good.
Thank you so much. I don't want to like take up any more of like your time. So, but anyways, that was really helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Vicky, I have just a couple quick comments that are very much in alignment with what Maggie said. Um, First of all, I think it's important to realize that it's what Maggie said, but I'm going to say it maybe a little differently. It's important to realize that what's needed, quote unquote, is just never anywhere else. Like you don't have to go to some teacher's map or teacher's description, or go to some kind of future. If resistance is coming up in the moment, the resistance is your entry point. Like just feel
Mm,
it, really notice it. And this is a very simple technique, but it's helpful. Just ask yourself, am I adding resistance to resistance? Like, am I actually resisting the fact that there's resistance here? And that simple question sometimes will make you realize, like, oh, I'm mentally resisting a physical sensation. So it's like, can I just let resistance be here right now, whether I'm meditating or not? Like, I kind of want to say, I don't really, I'm not worried about whether you sit down and meditate or don't. It's more like, what are you feeling? That's the entry point. It's just what's right now, what's happening right in this moment. Um, and it may be a sense of resistance. It may be a sense of self-doubt. There was a little bit of doubt in this too. Like, I'm not sure if I can live up to Frank, or this doesn't match teacher's descriptions or whatever. Notice if that's coming up. There's doubt. There's a doubt thought appearing, and there's a sensation in the body that corresponds. I know this all sounds incredibly simplistic compared to the way some teachers describe things, even the way I've described them periodically or whatever. But this is the whole path. Like, the whole path is right here. There's nowhere else you're
Mm,
going to wake up. There's nowhere else you're going to
Mhm.
deepen an insight. There's nowhere else you're going to do shadow work. It's right here. So trust that you have everything you need. You really do. And resistance itself is fine. Feel it and ask yourself, am I adding resistance to resistance? Am I adding another layer that's saying, no, I don't want resistance right now. I want whatever, samadhi. I want enlightenment. I want, right? Those are thoughts bouncing you out again. That's resistance to resistance. Instead, just go, oh, whoa, let me just feel this resistance. Ah, wow, it's intense. It's here. I feel it. Stay with it. Just that mere contact of contacting what your experience is fully with an open mind and open heart is actually profoundly transformative. But often it quiets your mind such that your mind won't know what's happening, or it'll feel confusing. That's okay. Your mind doesn't have to know what's happening. It doesn't have to map your experience. The experience is enough. So trust that you can just drop into experience in any moment, and that's enough. The other thing I wanted to say about the
mm,
last comment you made, or last question, um, I've seen people wake up, and I mean deep realization, the initial awakening and deep realization in many, many different ways. There are people who are not significantly interested in practice, in like what we would call meditation or insight practice, don't know what a jhana is, don't care what it is. Maybe they don't do like formal mindfulness practice, but they know how to just surrender to their experience. And
mm,
and there's everything in between. There are people who have very structured practice. There have people who have a combination or intermittent practice. You don't have to look like anyone else. You really don't. You don't have to structure your world like anyone else. Um, and sometimes if there's a strong proclivity to do that, or a proclivity to compare yourself to that, that may actually be a good entry point for you. It's like, why do I have to compare myself to another person? Why do I have to try to live up to so and so's description? Is there some sense that I'm not enough? It's like, oh, wow, okay, I can feel that not enoughness. That is where I would want you to go. Feel that, right? Let your body just be the arrow showing you here,
mm.
here, here. That's going to change and morph, and a lot of it's going to feel non-spiritual. It's not going to feel like samadhi and transcendence. Sometimes it will, but sometimes it's going to feel like gritty emotion. It's going to feel like, whoa, man, this is intense, and I've been avoiding it. That's going to happen, and it's okay. But that's where the rubber meets the road when it comes to people who have deep insight and integrated insight, in my experience.
Can I ask one last question,
Yep.
just to clarify things? So, what if the resistance lasts? Because this is what happened to me the other day. Like, I was meditating for 10 minutes at a time, and in total, I meditated for 30 minutes or something like that. And then at the end, I was just looking at my phone, and I was just like, fuck this. Like, this is gonna last forever. Like, this is gonna last, like, this meditation is gonna last forever. Like, I cannot keep going. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if the resistance just like keeps lasting like forever? Like what do you say to that?
There's nothing lasts forever. There is no forever. Thoughts, if something's
Mm,
telling you forever, it's always a thought. And it's a
mm,
very clever trick your mind uses, everyone's mind uses, to get you absorbed into thoughts again. It says, "Oh no,
mm,
you won't be able to do this forever. So drink the Kool-Aid, let's dissociate." Forever is a lie. It's a thought. And it's only occurring right now. There's no such thing as forever. You don't have to do anything forever. You don't have to sustain anything forever. You don't have to, all you have to do is look at what's happening right now, feel what's happening right now. That's it. But the mind is really good at using time, anything with time, because it's daunting. Like, of course you can't do anything forever. No one can. It's impossible. So if you believe that thought and you believe you have to do something forever or sustain anything, it's a very intimidating thought. When you realize it really is just one thought, it's a passing thought. The sensations are here. And I promise you the sensations will change. They always do. They'll just change. They'll morph, they'll change, they'll shift, they'll fluctuate. Just feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it.
Okay, thank you guys so much. I have so much gratitude towards you two. Like I have so much respect as well. Just thank you so much for answering my questions and for just doing what you guys do. And yeah, you guys are great.
You're very welcome. Yeah. Thank you.
Right. Bye.
Okay, let's go to Ashley.
Hi, how's it going?
It's good. How you doing?
Oh, good. So I just had a story I wanted to share about school today. I don't really have a question.
Mhm.
Um, so I was writing this sociology assignment. It was an essay, and it was funny because it was about identity, and I spent the entire time pretty much giggling at the language. So it was, I'm just like, I have never laughed while writing an essay in my life, but I have also never laughed while editing an essay in my life. So
I
that
love it.
was, it was a trip actually.
Beautiful.
Love it.
Yeah, that's just the only thing that is kind of crazy with this whole thing is the parts where like different things and like the reactions to them in the moment is just wild. So I just wanted to share that with the group and how weird sometimes school can be.
Yeah.
That's all I got
I
today, Angelo.
I don't know
So
if
You
Vicky,
rock.
I don't know if Ashley can hear me, but thank you so much for
yeah, I
sharing
can hear
this.
you.
Thank you,
Great.
Ashley. Really nice seeing
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it's nice being here.
All right. Let's go to the bottom. Let's go to Varsha.
Hi. This is my
Hello.
first time here. Hello. I'm a
Welcome.
bit nervous. Yeah,
Hmm.
I
Take
think
your
it's
time.
been a month. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what my question is. Firstly, I just want to share tremendous gratitude to all of you. I just love watching your videos. Um, yeah. Mm, yeah, I think I'm going through this phase where I'm seeing the obsession with myself. And there's a layer of like disgust or shame, not shame per se. I think I've seen a lot of shame, but a sort of judgment. When I see that I'm obsessed with myself, I'm obsessed with wanting attention, wanting to be some way, wanting to appear some way. Um, and I think the practice is to just see that, allow that, see that those are just patterns, and yeah, that it's okay. But yeah, I think that's just a phase. Yeah, I don't know what my question is, and probably just a sharing. That's what I'm going through. Yeah, and one
Yeah.
of my obsession was to hear from you that I'm in a good place, and I think you
Hmm.
did that in one of those, in one of the Q&As, and it was hilarious when that happened. It felt like that's what I wanted to hear, and when I heard it didn't mean anything. You might as well say that I'm in a bad place, and it wouldn't mean anything, right? So that was funny. Yeah. So yeah.
I think you're in a good place.
Yeah.
When you were describing your experience, um, the the clarity with which you're describing it tells me you're not really identified with those perceptions. You're just noticing them as perceptions. The emotions come, the emotions go. There may or may not be associated perceptions with those emotions, but all of it is just fleeting. It's all temporary. It's all rising and passing away. And none of it really defines you. Certainly, it doesn't define anything real. It's all kind of relative perception, and it's fine. Yeah, you don't seem attached to it or identified with it. And so there may be a lot of it for a while. A lot can come up when you start getting into shadow space. It's like a lot of stuff comes knocking at the door, which is fine. If you just approach it the way you are in a kind of neutral way, I think you're in a good place with it. Maggie, what you got?
I don't have much other than I agree with Angelo, and also it's also okay to want to just say it out loud and kind of need a bit of kind of validation for the experience that we're having. In a sense, not validation as in like any judgment, just like, yeah, I get it. Like that's part of the process. I get it that you're going, and I that's what I want to say. That it's totally fine to just want to hear from someone say, and even that is okay, you know? And there's no doing it wrong and great, even though it sucks in the moment, you know? So yeah, just want to say that I really hear you with that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was nice seeing you. Welcome. Okay, let's go to the middle. Adam,
Hi, Angelo. Hi, Maggie.
good to see you.
Hello.
Hi. Yes, I see you. Yeah. Yeah, I was at the retreat in August, Angelo, and it was fantastic. So yeah, thank you again and the whole team for that. Lots of obviously a huge amount of work. So yeah, thank you. Um, I wanted to ask a bit about kind of pleasure and discernment and kind of doership. Because I think I find pleasure and play kind of really healing, and I kind of want to celebrate them and make space for them in my life. And yet at the same time, I'm really aware that seeking pleasure in different contexts, is a way to avoid uncomfortable sensations, a way to avoid shame, a way to avoid a fear of separation. So I sort of reflect on it and think, well, no, pleasure seems like not the right approach, but then how do I discern what's intuitive, kind of good pleasure, and what's me trying to avoid something? And then I start getting up in my head a bit about, this idea of a doer, and it feels like, I don't want to get into that headspace of feeling like there's different thoughts kind of arguing with each other of like, yes, do this or don't do that, don't do that. So yeah, that's something that's kind of a bit live for me today. So I don't know, yeah, if either of you have anything to say about that.
Sure. Maggie, you have anything, or would you like me to start?
I'd like you to start. I'm still sitting with this one.
You got it. Okay. Uh, so pleasure in and of itself is totally fine. Ecstasy is fine. Intense pleasure is fine. Over the top
Mm,
pleasure is fine. It's all fine. When it becomes problematic in my experience is when we can't let it go. When we can't recognize that everything's in flux. And
mm,
as the fluctuation starts occurring and the pleasure starts to dissipate or another emotion's appearing or another sensation or experience is appearing, we want to cling to something else. Like we want to like resist. Um, Also, if we're having an experience that we have at some point concluded is undesirable, like a quote unquote negative emotion. I say quote unquote because I don't use the term negative emotions because to me, emotions are
mm.
just emotions. But we
Yeah.
can have that predisposition that certain emotions are just like very difficult to feel or something. So in that space, if we use fantasy, like to pursue pleasure in our mind to avoid
Mm,
something, to avoid a sensation, then it's dissociative. So
yeah.
those are the kind of two caveats to what I think may be a little iconoclastic in comparison to like traditional Dharma when I say
Mm.
there's nothing wrong with pleasure. There's nothing wrong with it at all. And the more you wake up, the more barriers dissolve, the more your perceptual filters dissolve, the less you'll be able to avoid the feeling of it. Like you'll
Mm,
see that
mm,
the ego structure attenuates everything. It makes everything less. Like it makes us feel less pain. It makes us feel less sadness. It makes us feel less anger at times. It also makes us feel less pleasure and enjoyment. So as those perceptual filters dissolve away, you may notice periods where you feel like, whoa, I feel intensely sad, where I don't usually feel that way. and it'll come and go. And then you'll feel like, wow, I feel a massive surge of love moving through. I feel like totally heart open in a way I never felt before. That's how this is. Everything becomes very direct and very full on, including pleasure. So in and of itself, it's just not a problem. It's when we use mental versions of it to either chase it to avoid something that's happening right now, or we have trouble kind of allowing the fluidity of experience and appearances to just be, and we try to cling, which is essentially the same thing. It's another version of like fantasy or longing or trying to use the mind to pretend what's happening isn't happening. That's it. It's really that simple in my experience. Is that helpful?
That is super helpful, Anto. Yeah, and I recognize that have been a real fantasy addict. Well, the brain is just like a fantasy
Mm,
machine, and it's just constant fantasies of just even like simple fantasies of what's happening in the next 5 minutes to
mm.
other fantasies of pleasure, and I can see that they are definitely kind of dissociative. So that, yeah, 100%. And yeah, about enjoying the pleasure in the moment, and actually being present and actually enjoying it and not thinking about the next thing. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah. And when you just experience it here, whatever's here, including joy when it comes
Mm,
and including any other experience when it comes, um, it requires no doing. It's just here. It requires no figuring anything out. There's no negotiation
mm,
necessary. There's no management necessary. It's just totally natural. And it's a satisfying way to live. So what we're really doing is we're unlearning habits of dissociation. We're unlearning habits of seeking
mm,
for anything other than this, because this is plenty. There's plenty here. There's plenty of
mm,
intimacy here, plenty of freedom here, plenty of peace here. When it doesn't feel like that, it's already dissociated. That's all. Like
mm,
the flavor of dysphoria, of feeling discontent, all that. That's
mm,
already mind. Like it's all. There's nothing even wrong with the mind. It's just it's dissociated mind. It's
mm,
identity in one sense or another. So
mm.
yeah. All right,
Great, thank you.
Maggie, what you got?
Um, I agree that nothing wrong with pleasure, and in fact, that pleasure can very much intensify during the journey of awakening, for many people, and to the point of being a bit overwhelming at times, so that's okay.
Mm,
I think I would get curious because one of the things that I love curiosity. It's my favorite thing,
mm,
so
mm, mm,
but without necessarily, but the kind of curiosity that is not looking for ultimate conclusion, just
mm,
kind of like open space, let's see, let's play, let's see what comes up. And one of the things that you said was like, oh yeah, I can see, maybe that's like the way I'm trying to sort of escape any kind of unpleasant stuff going on
mm,
or something else. In which
mm,
case, I would say if you already think that, then that's probably the case. In which
mm,
case, get curious about this. Just that. So to me, it's not so much whether it's like there's anything wrong with pleasure or not. It's more
mm,
about, can I be honest with myself? Moment by
mm,
moment. So, because one of the things that I see that are kicking in with you is actually conditioning that you may not even be aware of, which is also that, with the awakening
mm,
journey, so much stuff that goes on is so natural and so intimate that inevitably some kind of cultural, religious conditioning is going to come up that's judging that. As
mm, mm,
wrong
mm,
or not okay or
mm,
blah, blah,
mm,
blah. And we may not even be aware that this is going on.
mm,
Okay.
mm,
But we can be sure that if we enter into like, should I, is that okay? Shouldn't I? No, 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 no. Then already that narrative is telling me that I'm entering this territory. Okay. Um,
mm,
so if there's anything that I would suggest, it was like, just get curious, with zero judgment, just get curious and ask yourself if you're honest with yourself. Like, is there a part of me that's seeking that pleasure in order to avoid being in some kind of discomfort or whatever
mm,
it is?
mm,
And just see, because the only thing that what's true in the moment is the only thing that's like worth exploring versus like what should or should I, or what's
mm.
right or wrong. If that, I don't know. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, oh, 100%. Yeah, yeah, that's really
Yeah.
clear. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you
All,
both.
all right. Let's go to Rick T.
at the retreat last May, it felt as if I had been pierced through my heart, into something behind the heart that was both personal and universal impersonal. And since the retreat, or after the retreat, I was very open and I was feeling everything. And it's felt kind of like a funnel since then. Like that connection has begun to dissipate. And I've kind of found myself in seasonal depression, which I had before. I was listening last night. I was only intending to listen to your latest little thing that was on Apple Podcast, but it went directly into the thing with Eshwar. And as I was listening to what Eshwar was talking about, I was right there. I knew that what he was talking about was real. I could feel it, and it was like, oh my God, I know this. And and then contraction happens again. So I feel kind of stuck here, and my notion on how to deal with that is that if that's what's here, that's my path right now, and be with it. So,
All right.
yeah.
Maggie? Or should I go?
I'm not quite sure what's the what Rick is referring to in terms of the Ashwar. I'm not.
Yeah,
Can you expand a little bit on this? That would be
Esh,
helpful.
sure. Eshwar is someone who's been connected with this group and is also a teacher. I spoke with him a little bit at the retreat, and even though it was a little bit, I felt a real connection with him, and I still can. There are people that I met there that I still feel a strong connection to. And he was talking about a heart opening that he'd had that was well beyond personality. And the kind of opening that I had at the retreat was heart based. And it didn't feel like my connection or my belief in thought or identity went away.
Mm-hmm.
But something happened. Something happened that was a shift that I don't hear many people talk about. It wasn't like all of a sudden my identity went, and so.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew it was something, and I was very happy with it. And in the transmission of that recording last night, I was moving into it again.
So what is it that like what is the issue here if you could like narrow it down for me to like one sentence? What is the problem?
I get depressed and I don't like it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you feel the depression now?
No,
You can't find it?
not at the moment. No,
What do you find in the moment?
it was the exchange, not the words at all. The
Yeah.
exchange with Maggie, and that's it's kind of there's a mutual transmission.
Hmm.
It just things open, and
Mm.
yeah, really nice.
Yeah. That relational aspect is really helpful for you, I can tell.
Yes, very much.
Hmm.
I hear you, Rick. Beautiful. Thank you.
It doesn't take much. I mean, I've just
No.
had someone say, "I'm glad to have you here at Circling Online. I'm glad you were here," and
Hmm.
it does something and it sticks. It's like, wow.
And Rick, that openness that you experience, that heart, that unconditioned vast heart, it literally includes the depression and the fact that you don't like it, and that there's a whole, and whatever else is going on, you know? And so when we didn't speak, that space, you can see it's right there. Just because you experience it a certain way, let's say at the retreat, or you experience that that open heart a certain way while talking to this person, it doesn't have to look or feel the same way all the time. It's here right now as we speak, and it
Yes,
includes all of it. So really what just happened is like we were just allowed to feel depressed and not like it. You know?
I
So
did.
thank you so much for sharing this.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.